Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today's video I'm going to be talking about archive fashion pieces that I have been seeing of recently. So we're just going to get straight into it. I've actually been taking like a liking into like sort of like archive fashion, like clothing, couture pieces, and sort of like past releases of like designer fashion clothing, and I honestly really do find it like very interesting, sort of just understanding the history behind it, like what it meant, the fabrics, the prints, the designs, and all of that stuff, which I personally find really cool and interesting to know about. So the first one that I'm actually going to start off with, I've got my phone with me, so that's why I'm kind of like looking down. So the first one that I'm going to be talking about is the Christian Dior Rasta Mania collection. This was in like the early 2000s, around about like 2003, 2004, and this collection was by John Galliano. Within this collection, there's just an array of different types of bright colors, very bright bold colors, especially with like the blues, the reds, the yellows, the greens, which really do tie into the Caribbean influence which flows throughout the collection. The reason why I really do like this collection, because this collection, I think it came out around spring and summer, and within that collection as well, they did sort of introduce sort of like this Caribbean vibe throughout it. I came across this collection through, I think it's called Amore Vintage, and I think they're based in Japan, and I've heard that Japan is really known for sort of like their vintage collections, and also they do have like stores dotted about in Japan which do sell like sort of like these icon clothing, especially when it comes to bag, jewelry, and clothes. Also from that, I did go onto like other websites and kind of like went through Google, and I did find that they, within that collection as well, they did do like the pants, and also they did this really nice sort of scoop halter top, which I really do like. I would love to get like something like that, like the scoop Dior top. Like that is just absolutely gorgeous. I think they did do like the Dior saddlebag, and of course I feel like of recent, especially when it comes to Dior saddlebags, like their past releases, they actually have been very like good. But yeah, so I think it's with that Dior Rasta Mania collection from the early 2000s by John Galliano. I really do like that collection, because I feel like even if you have like a top, it still creates a statement itself, or like the pants, or even like the Dior saddlebag as well. I know that they did do footwear within that collection. I did have like a look around. I did see like on like a Vasier Collective, like they did have like some like the shoes, but honestly the shoes were just not giving at all. But all of like the wearable clothing, the tops, bottoms, and stuff like that from a lot of places seemed to be in very good condition. So I would feel like collection would be a very good thing to get, because it's very fun, very playful, and I feel like it would be a great thing to wear during spring and summertime. So that's like one of the first item that collection that I'm talking about in this segment. So the next item that I'm talking about for archive fashion pieces that I have been liking of recently, it is Dior again, but it is more so to their bags, like how I mentioned before about like the Dior saddlebag for the Dior Rasta Mania collection from the early 2000s. There was this one other bag that I did see. So this bag that I'm talking about in particular, I actually found it through the Treasures of New York City.com. It's a website where of course they do sell like vintage archive fashion pieces, and within this collection they did have the Dior pink mini logo bag. It has like this silver hardware, and it complements this like very like, I think it's like a light pink, baby pink embossed leather. I think it might be like, it looks like lizard skin or something like that, but it is like this embossed leather which complements the like silver hardware, and I really do think it is very much 2000-esque, and it really does have like a very much girly feminine vibe to the bag as well. It is a shoulder bag, so it doesn't really have as much space compared to like, you know, your regular big handbag. So I feel like it would be a very nice bag to wear on like casually, or even if you're going out to like little events and stuff like that. I just feel like it's a great cute bag to wear. So that's like one item that I have seen which has been taken my like, I have been having a liking towards, especially just how the Dior logo is sort of designed out. There's like this fluidity through it, and I just think it's a very gorgeous piece. So I think that's like the second Y2K fashion piece that I've been seeing of recently that I have been liking. Number 3 is actually going to be from the previous Louis Vuitton and Murakami collaboration, and I'm talking about the one which was released in 2003. And the reason why I am saying this, because I know that in a previous video I did say that I was so excited for this release which was coming in January, and I was looking very forward to that. But now with people sort of like getting their items and stuff like that, from what I have seen, I feel like the first release in the early 2000s, I think it was like 2003, apparently the release from that collection was actually a lot more better due to the quality of those items at the time compared to the quality of the items now in this recent release that we've had in January. And a lot of people have said that the quality has changed, and the quality actually has declined comparing to the price point of everything right now. And I really do understand that overall in general, because I feel like of recently with a lot of places, whether it's high end or whether it's fast fashion or whatever, I feel like the quality of clothing and goods lately have been on a decline, and I feel like a lot of people have been a bit more wary of where they are buying their items, because it's just not the same anymore. The quality of clothing is just not the same anymore, and I feel like, for me personally, I just feel like maybe it would be better for me to probably go down the vintage route. And especially with that collection, they did release some bags which of course they didn't remake within this current release in January. So there were a couple of bags. Of course I'll put them on the screen of the ones that I've seen which I really do like. I feel like I have been opting for like something a bit more different, but I have been looking into like sort of like shoulder bags and something to just have within my collection which is a little bit more different. There were a couple of bags that I seen which actually looked better compared to the bags that we're re-releasing now. And I think there was one which was called the Elisa like shoulder bag. It has like a pouch at the front of it, and of course it had this like buckle detail. With some of the bags they did have like sort of like this big buckle sort of detail on the front of the bag. I felt like it just added a very nice addition to the bag itself. But yeah, so that is like probably one of the third sort of like Y2K fashion pieces that I have been sort of looking into, and I feel like it's actually sort of better to do that within this day. Like I've said before, sort of like I feel like the comparisons of quality comparing to things from like 20 years ago to now, there is a big difference with quality. So lastly, it's actually like a pair of heels. And with these heels, these are the D Squared 2015 fashion winter fox fur heels. With these heels, they are like, it has like sort of like this suede detailing, and of course you have the fox fur, which is kind of like sort of like the main, it's sort of like the main star of the heel itself, of course, because it is quite out there, and I feel like these are very much different to like my style, but then again I really do find them very intriguing. I do see them as like a statement heel. I do think that these heels are gorgeous and they are very much fashionable, and I think, to be honest, when it comes to, I think you can sort of like wear them like any sort of time of the year, but I really do feel like they do give very much, again, like fall vibes. I wouldn't really see this to be sort of like a winter heel that you would step out with, because it is like sort of like this suede material. But overall I really do think that these heels are very nice, and I think in general, especially when it comes to like D Squared and sort of like their past past like releases. I feel like their stuff can be a little bit quite understated in my opinion compared to other brands, but you really can find some really nice new unique pieces from D Squared. So that is like one of like the main sort of fashion icon pieces that I have been seeing, which have been taking my liking. But overall I really do think that like Dior have some very good pieces from like their past releases, especially when it comes down to like their clothing, especially like their tops and their like Dior saddlebags. Like their Dior saddlebags alone, like the different types of like patterns and materials throughout like different releases and especially throughout the years, they're very distinctive, and I think a lot of those Dior saddlebags can stand the test of time due to their materiality and the colors, because you can match them with different types of accessories. But that can just be like a video in itself as well, because they do have a lot of history within the Dior saddlebag as well. These are the main pieces that have been catching my eye of recently. So please let me know what you guys think about looking into fashion archive pieces, especially looking at these designer brands and their past releases, especially with like their collections, and looking into sort of like their couture pieces, and also brands which do provide sort of like these understated pieces as well. So thank you guys for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't give my shit away. I'm just trying to get up.